Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to today's airsofting video. Again, thank you for being patient. It's been kind of a little bit lack of airsoft videos lately, so I am going to start cranking out some more videos. And again, to start this video off, this one's going to be more so comparing the different BB sizes that exist in the replica firearm world. So the canisters that you see are basically just two different weight of Airsoft BB, 6mm, and then in the middle we have the zinc plated 4.5mm or .177 caliber zinc BB. So I'll kind of talk a little bit about these two different BB sizes, what they're used for, which guns they are best for, and then just some little things in between. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video. All right, so to kick things off, I'm sure you've probably noticed a quality improvement as far as audio goes. So I did actually have an update on some of my recording equipment. So again, it'll be hopefully a lot more pleasant. Let me know your thoughts on this. So like I said, we have three different canisters here. If we're looking at the first one, that's the Tall Elite Force 5,000 count 0.20 gram BBs, the white, of course. Then we have on the far right just some generic Walmart grade BBs. These are also 6mm and they are 0.12 grams. So that's just two of the many sizes that exist in the airsoft world. Now, with some of the more high powered airsoft guns, you'll probably end up seeing 0.25, 0.30, and I think even into the .40s as well when it comes to especially the high-powered sniper rifles. There's also this one I think is more so of an extinct type of BB, but there used to be the 8mm BB, which I know is usually banned in a lot of places, and from what I've seen, it's quite rare. So there's a few different types here. Now, in the middle, we have again the zinc plated BBs that are more so for a specialty type of replica firearm or a BB gun for the most part, or the BB pump rifles, the Red Ryder single action rifles, so on and so forth. So those kind of rifles and pistols are going to use the 4.5mm caliber. So it's again a smaller diameter than the 6mm. So I will get into just a little bit of a closer view so you can kind of get a chance to see the difference in size between these two BBs. All right, so here's a quick comparison between the two BB sizes. So the white one here is going to be the 6mm Airsoft BB, and then the zinc plated one there is going to be the 4.5 millimeter. Now, with the 4.5 millimeter caliber, they also come in copper as well, and if I'm not mistaken, also steel. As far as the Airsoft BBs, those are typically going to come plastic. However, they do actually make steel 6mm BBs, which I have had previous before. So this is just kind of an up close example of that. So now the pistol that I'm featuring in front of you guys now, this is an Airsoft pistol. This is actually a KJW P226. Now, this particular Airsoft pistol actually comes with a green gas magazine and a CO2 magazine, which currently at the moment, that is what I have in here, is a CO2 canister. So this is the CO2 mag. Now, typically with airsoft pistols, being that the actual projectile is plastic, it's going to be a little bit lighter. Now, it's kind of going to be all over the place as far as FPS goes. So a lot of the times when you try to chrono airsoft pistols, airsoft rifles of any kind, you're going to notice not a lot of inconsistency. It really depends. Sometimes it could be anywhere from 5 to 10 or maybe between 10 to 30 FPS difference. It really depends on the environment that you're in, the climate, and of course how much gas is in your airsoft gun magazine. So again, for these pistols specifically, it's only going to end up being the 6mm BB that's going to end up fitting it. All right, so for the next pistol that I have shared with you is my Walther PPK. This particular model actually is a blowback metal BB gun. Now, this one is just CO2 powered, so you do need the 12 gram CO2 cartridge in order for this to function. This is just one of many variants that exist in the metal BB gun world. There are plenty of different varieties like spring powered metal BB guns, some of the pump rifles where basically you have to compress the air into a tube for the projectile to fire, and to do that you just have to pump the handle a few times to get the projectile to shoot. There are also ones that kind of use pneumatic air where you basically have a small little air compressor tank, which is basically the source of power to again propel that projectile. Those are on the more larger size caliber metal BB rifles, but again, for the most part, if we're again kind of going back to 4.5 millimeter, you're mainly going to see just those pump rifles, spring, or some kind of CO2 powered metal BB gun. Now, for this one, the mag capacity is not all that large. For typical airsoft guns, it's usually anywhere from 20 to 30 for a pistol. This one kind of has maybe like 15. Even though the, again, metal BBs themselves are much smaller in size, for this particular model at least, it's a pretty small magazine capacity. And the more unique thing too, which you don't see often with metal BB guns, is a blowback action. Like I said, this particular model is blowback, so I found that very unique, which kind of drawed me to the purchase. I did get this one actually at Walmart, and with Walmart, they actually do have a lot of metal BB guns that they actually sell. A lot of them being the pump rifles or those basically single shot Red Ryder rifles, or even, again, just CO2 non-blowback semi-automatic pistols. So, there's quite a variety. I would say power-wise, you're definitely going to get a little more power just because it's CO2. So that metal projectile definitely is going to have some power behind it. The number of joules definitely is a lot higher, which joules is basically used to measure the power of that projectile. It's definitely going to be much higher than the plastic airsoft pellets. So you're definitely going to get more power. The FPS, I would say, definitely is more consistent, but for typically for handguns like this, you're going to notice that the FPS is usually going to be anywhere from 250 to 350 FPS, where airsoft pistols sometimes start off anywhere from 300 to 450 FPS, depending on, of course, the type of gas and weight of BB. So there's definitely actually more than two large similar differences, I'm sorry, of the airsoft and the metal BB guns. They're definitely unique, and these are kind of one of a kind areas that they both have that, of course, are unique to them. Now, just some of the last things, just comparing the two different types of BB sizes. What you're going to notice, especially in the airsoft realm of things, is plastic BBs are definitely a lot more expensive than the metal BBs. Now, there could be many reasons as to why. It really depends on, the quality of the brand that you're purchasing, the process that, is involving to make these BBs. Because keep in mind, too, plastic BBs need to be basically molded to the point where there are no seams or anything like that. They go through a process of where they basically get ground down to make sure all the seams get again, smoothened out, just so again it doesn't jam. It needs to be basically a perfect sphere. I would say for the metal ones, it's maybe a bit of an easier process, but for the most part still follows something similar as far as cast and molding them. But traditionally, from what I've seen, the metal BBs always seem to be significantly less. So if we're looking at my 6,000 count Daisy zinc plated BBs, I probably spent maybe $8 on that. And if we're looking at, so there's 6,000 in here. If we're looking at the Elite Force 5,000 premium BBs, 6mm 20.20 gram, I actually have the sticker still on here. I paid $18 for this. So it kind of puts things into perspective that, you know, more quality control goes into this particular brand of BBs than I would say the Daisy brand. And obviously with Daisy metal BBs, they go through probably something different as far as making sure that they're spherical, to make sure that they actually go through the inner barrel of whatever BB gun that it's being fired out of. As far as the ones on the right here, these of course are going to be a little bit cheaper. This actually, so the canister is actually for Crossman BBs, but the ones that I have in here are a little bit different. They are, I think, Cybergun BBs, which those are probably, you can buy a bucket of 10,000 for maybe 15 bucks. So that's still less than the 5,000 that's here, and yet you'll get basically double that for a couple dollars less. But in this case, these BBs for .12s typically are pretty cheap. For maybe a pack of 2,000, it could be anywhere from maybe $4 to $5, which that's still fairly expensive for two, because remember with the metal BBs for 6,000, it's anywhere from maybe $7 to $8, at least from what I've seen. I would say every Walmart or website is probably going to have them marketed for something different as far as price goes, but overall it's fairly consistent with metal BBs if we're talking about pricing. Alright guys, well I really hope that you did enjoy this video. I hope there was some informative information that you ended up picking up from this video, but that will be wrapping it up. And again, you can kind of see just one more last minute glance of the three BBs that I was comparing today. If you have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to reach out to me in the comments section of the video. But again, overall, that's going to be just a quick overview of steel BBs versus plastic BBs. And again, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and thanks again for watching.